Hey, welcome to an additional video about buying and selling Amazon accounts. In this video, we're going to address new questions that came after the previous video, which I'm going to link for you in the description of the video, where me and Omer Sidi from Sellerboard, we discussed buying and selling Amazon accounts. It's a pretty big video, doing pretty well here. So I do recommend you, if you're interested in that topic, checking it out. And here, a few other questions arose, and we're going to address them. So, Omer, would you like to introduce yourself, say a few things about yourself and what you do, and then we're going to get into the questions. And of course, we have timestamps for each question for you, the viewer, to enjoy the experience of this video. Omer, man, what's up?
Okay, so thanks for having me here again. We had a lot of discussions regarding different things that arose from the previous video, a lot of new comments and questions, and we basically wanted to address them. So again, a little background about me. I'm an Amazon seller for the past 7 years. I've been doing e-commerce for 12 years. I'm also a lawyer. I consult to different Amazon sellers, and we mainly deal with buying and selling Amazon accounts, mostly aged accounts that are either not in use anymore, or they're not profitable, or general for people that they don't want to do Amazon anymore. And there's more and more of them every day. Amazon is not getting easier; it's getting much harder and way more expensive than it was in the past. People need to know that their Amazon account is worth something, and not doing anything with it, well, that's a bad thing, at least in my opinion. If you don't intend to use it in the future, you're better off selling it.
Awesome, man. Yeah, good to have you here again with us. I'll remind our viewers that we have another video with many other questions and answers about this topic in the description. And so let's start with the first one. So is it legal and is it allowed to actually do that process? Is it legal and is it allowed, man? Like, because that's one of the main ones, like, because people are concerned whether they're buying or selling an account. They're like, is it legal? Is it allowed? What do you think?
Yeah, okay, so that's a great question. We keep getting this over and over. Okay, so the simple answer is yes. You are allowed to sell your Amazon account. You're allowed to buy an Amazon account. You are not allowed to hold two Amazon accounts under the same name. I'm sure lots of sellers have received in the past and today related accounts. This is basically when you have more than one account and there's different credentials that are identical. Amazon basically will flag that. You will most probably get both accounts suspended. That's something important to point out. Now, regarding the actual question of is it allowed? So yes, it's allowed. There's a certain way that it needs to be done. We do this by basically notifying, getting confirmation from Amazon prior to doing anything on the account. So yes, you can do it. It's allowed as long as you do it the right way.
Got it, man. How does it work then? Like, so, okay, so let's say it is allowed. That's pretty cool, right? So if someone's listening, he's a seller or a buyer, and they understand that you do talk with Amazon even priorly. So you notify them, you explain them that there is, I guess, a transaction of if that's the right word, of an account coming from here to here. They know it. So that does make it legal, I guess, if Amazon knows it, right? So how does it work then? As you mentioned, you do talk to Amazon, but what are the other parts of this process?
Well, we basically open multiple cases, basically asking for this permission. I can tell you that in some instances they either don't allow it, or we need to address something that needs to be addressed, but we don't do anything before receiving this basically confirmation. It's written confirmation, okay, so that if anything in the future happens, there's a track record for it on the actual account.
I understand. Okay, so you've received that. You've received the confirmation, I guess, and then you get to the process, right, of transferring, I guess, and transferring all the details, I believe, right?
Exactly. Okay, so basically, the process basically involves updating all new credentials, if it's a legal entity, tax identification, bank account, credit cards, new emails, passwords, phone number, authenticator apps, everything. Basically, the old seller, not the old seller, basically, when they sell the account, they don't want to have anything to do with it anymore.
Yeah.
Not receive emails and OTPs and all that stuff. So that also has to be done, because there's a lot of the times seller will keep getting, different notifications and stuff like that. And that has to be disabled on the account.
I understand. So you do all the process, you know exactly which parts we need to
Yes,
change in order not to get all
exactly.
these one-time notifications
We have
and
done we
emails.
have done we have done hundreds of these already. So yes. And I can also tell you that it does not always go smooth at first. There's such a thing known as a rollback. Sometimes you make changes on the account, and basically Amazon identifies this as suspicious activity. And they basically do what we call a rollback, and they change everything back to the original details that were on the account.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also something that's worth mentioning.
I guess if you do the process right, the chance for rollback is lower, right? If I understand.
Yes, 100%. Yes.
All right, that's pretty cool. So that leads me to the next question, I guess, which sort of touches the previous your previous answer. But what's the advantage of working with you? Like maybe somebody wants just is like, I want to sell my account myself, or I want to buy an account myself, and that's their right, I guess, of the people. But if they do want to use service of somebody that has done it hundreds of times, what is the advantage, I guess? Well, aside of hundreds of times of experience, which is probably the one of the main.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, that's a great question. I always tell clients that it's not just the price. You need to know who you are selling your account to. If something happens tomorrow, okay, do you have anyone to contact?
Yeah.
A lot of the times there's lots of fishy things going on with Amazon, black hats and lots of scams. So many scams in this business. Everyone who sells in Amazon knows this. I don't think that it's worth risking it. For sometimes I don't know, receiving a little more than you expected, and then you're not able to reach the guy, and he did not change the information as you agreed. And we've seen cases where the buyer account was used to purchase different things because they forgot to update the credit cards. All these things. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I always tell people, if you someone that you trust, make sure that you get full explanation of everything. Another important thing that we tell sellers is before they transfer the account, they need to download all the reports that they might need, even if it's something for the future. If it's business reports, if it's monthly or yearly statements, inventory reports, okay? Because your accountant might ask for this. So better to have it upfront.
Right, man. So you're saying like you've done many of these transfers, and I know personally that people that I've referred to you successfully help them buy and sell accounts. So I'm happy for that. And yeah, you're saying that working alone is an option, but can be risky because you don't really know what you're doing. I mean, you as the viewer, maybe you want to sell or buy an account, but have you done that before? If you haven't have done that successfully, okay, that makes sense. But if not, then there's a lot of hardships that can be there. So you guys at Seller Spot can help people. We kind of touched on that in a way, but the next question is like, what should we know and what should we make sure we know, or what we should make sure we do before we buy an account?
There's a few things that I always advise. First of all, have a look at the account, the actual account, not screenshots. Anyone can make screenshot these days. Even if it's a legit screenshot, you have no idea when it was taken. Okay, so I always say that's what we do as well. We have an actual look at the account. We do it usually together with the other side. We use some screen sharing software like AnyDesk or TeamViewer or Zoom, and we check everything. You want to see that there's no negative balance. There's no future charges on the account. A lot of the times there was old inventory in the account. We've had many cases that someone bought an account and then a few weeks later they get a big charge, okay, because they didn't check and there was old inventory charges. You basically, when you buy an account, you want an account that's clean. It's a clean slate, and no with no future surprises. Also very important to point out performance notifications. Was there anything shady with this account, even in the past? Amazon documents everything. What was this account used for? Was it selling private label? Was it doing drop shipping? Was it doing arbitrage? What's the account health look like today and in the past? Everything. When we observe an account, this is a process that takes, I don't know, anywhere between 15 to 30 minutes. We basically go over everything. I can tell you that most Amazon sellers are not 100%, they don't know everything in the Seller Central. There's lots of different tabs there. Amazon changes the interface every once in a while. You need to be updated on everything. At the end of the day, we are here to make sure that that it's a safe process for both sides. Okay, it's not just for the seller; it's for both sides. Basically, the seller, like I said, they want to get paid. They want confirmation that they don't own the account anymore, and any future issues that might arise, they're not responsible for it. The buyer, on the other hand, he also wants some, to be sure that what they're doing is to be confident with the process,
Yeah.
that they received a legit account, no future charges or deactivations. I'll make sure that it was working.
Everything's clear. Everything's like, yeah, the buyer wants to get the account without any problems. The seller wants to sell the account without any problems. If we kind of sum it up in a few words, I guess.
Yes, of course. And there's also the big thing, the payment. Payment. How is it done? Do you provide the account details before? That's a huge question we get. How do I know that I'll receive my payment? So the way that we work today is we either work with an external guarantor. Okay, who basically you transfer the funds directly to him. Once you receive the account details and you confirm everything is okay, we give him an okay to release the funds. And the second way that we work is basically that everything goes through us. We first receive confirmation of the payment from the buyer. At the same time, we make sure that the seller has prepared everything for transferring the account. We forward that to the buyer only once confirmation of the payment. Once it's confirmed, then we release the payment, and this way, there's no possibility for anyone scamming anyone. We're in the middle of this. We're with you, together with you in this process. This is the safest way to do it. We get asked if we do any other services for Amazon sellers. So the answer is yes. We do consultation for both private label and all type of other sellers. We also help with open up categories and different brands that you're looking to sell. And we also have an appeal service for deactivated listings and accounts.
So yeah, man, we're going to leave in the description the forms for those who want to buy and sell an account. I didn't mention that before, but yeah, there's an option for those who, again, want to sell or buy accounts. There are two different forms. So if you want to sell, use the selling form. If you want to buy, use the buying form. Then also going to leave the big video. There were more questions and answers about buying and selling accounts. And Omer, something you wanted to share before we wrap up this video that I didn't ask you, or you wanted to tell about this process, or some other stuff about this buying, selling Amazon accounts, maybe that we didn't mention today or in the previous video, or generally would like to mention?
Nothing that comes to mind right now, but I hope to get new questions, and of course we'll answer them, and we need to make another video.
Perfect. So yeah, for those who are watching, you're welcome to ask questions in the comments section. We'll get to them. And again, the buying, selling forms are in the description, and the video with the buying and selling Amazon accounts, more questions and answers are also there. One more thanks, man. It was really interesting recording this one. And thanks to all the viewers as well. Thank you.
Thank you.